perception, subjective thinking versus perspective, objective thinking. This topic will help you to understand your own thinking process and the pitfalls through your way of looking at matters. This is an important subject to help you understand how your brain processes information and why you think the way you did, and whether you are a subjective thinker, which is limiting, or an objective one where more opportunities and luck comes your way. Let's not miss this subject, which probably will blow your mind. Let's get into it right now. Perception is based on subjective thinking and is triggered by emotional elements of our psyche at the base level. On the other hand, perspective thinking is objective and logical in nature. Your perception may be lying to you sometimes. What do I mean by that? Let me give you an example. There might be a person who looks ordinary or perhaps unusually uneducated and couth just by appearance. However, this person might have a powerful background, highly educated, and to your surprise, very wealthy. So, when we are using a subjective view, which essentially is your perception, in a very narrow and unvalidated manner to judge someone or a circumstance, more often than not, we might stumble on our own arrogance and judgmental attitude. Many people tend to be trapped in their own perception. It is a prison that most got so habitually used to and never had a chance to transcend out of their own limited perception. The fact that you are exposed to this information now is already an expanded perspective. You are given the information and you do have this idea into your awareness now. You already knew the difference between subjective perception and objective perspective a moment ago. You are literally wiser by a notch than others who are not being exposed to this at all. Having to have a wider perspective in various viewpoints puts us in an advantageous situation simply just by having more knowledge and giving you the chance to do your own evaluation in a calculated manner based on information gathered. Others who do not know as much will have less frame of reference and thus lesser data to infer from. An awakened person will have higher perspective views of matter versus an unawakened person looking at matter on a horizontal level and having a narrow perception. Are you able to see beyond your views from a horizontal frame of reference, or be able to see more clearly from a higher perspective of a vertical viewpoint on higher ground? If we relate to how the brain works for someone who was accustomed to their customary way of thinking, it's doubtless that the neuron pathway would be ingrained in a certain way where the brain firing patterns of the brain cells were so firmly established that they form memories in the process. It is a repetitive pattern of neural activity that only makes you think and react in a certain way. If it is in a positive direction, then I congratulate you. However, most commonly, it is often a recurrent and habitual negative response. The utilization of the complete brain usage is undermined and taken over by an isolated, consistent way of perception, which translates to a subjective, narrow way of thinking. Even when exposed to other information, which can liberate and bring the brain to a higher perspective. It will typically block and cast out their acceptance of differing viewpoints. The opposite is true for someone who is willing to explore and see matters from others' viewpoint. The brain activity goes into full force, trying to absorb and understand others' reasoning. Hence, activation of the entire brain region will be fully utilized, triggering gamma brain waves to generate. One way to test yourself is to look at the picture below. You are supposed to see two people inside the picture. It should take you less than 5 minutes to find them. For some, it only took seconds. If you cannot find both of them, or even just one of them, this is the time you should question yourself, why? Why does it take only a few seconds for others, and it will take you hours after hours, and you still cannot find the two people inside the picture? No matter how long you scrutinize the picture, looking at each corner of it, you still cannot find any resemblance of any person inside the picture. Doesn't this baffle your own perception of why you cannot see them? The reason for this all boils down to your habitual subjective way of perception and thinking. It doesn't mean that it's good enough to only be able to find one of them. This doesn't add any consolation to the truth that you are still very subjective in your perception. You can close your eyes, and upon opening and looking at the picture, your eyes will only fall on the same spot, which is the same person, or perhaps falling upon nothing. This indicates your perpetual way of rigidity in terms of perception. The wholesome and wider views of seeing matters from a non-judgmental and objectivity seem difficult and unattainable. Why was it so hard and difficult to see in other ways? Now, picture this. If you go to the gym and carry weights for long enough, you will be building muscles, right? Or if you practice shooting darts for many years, wouldn't you be an expert and could even close your eyes and possibly hit the bullseye? Isn't it? Anything that you put in enough time, relentlessly, doing it repeatedly, will only yield the result whether you are consciously doing or unconsciously doing it. All you need is to repeatedly do it. Likewise, for your neural network and pathway, if you only see matters and think in a certain manner, essentially meaning you are being subjective in your views, you will only be able to do it in this way, blocking yourself from other possibilities. Even if truth or good things come your way, given your rigidity, you are just going to miss them and put yourself in a situation where it will progress in a very primitive way for yourself. This is the way you are, the frequencies you are emitting, and the exact vibration of your being. There is no magic about it. Nevertheless, if you are one who sees from other viewpoints and thinks in an objective manner, you are sure to be able to utilize all regions of your brain, allowing gamma brain waves to generate. In turn, you are emitting the type of vibration that you are, hence making who you are, the way that you are. No magic, but just pure effort, whether you know or do not know. When we are able to view matters from another angle and understand from another perspective, we are activating the gamma brainwaves to emerge. Gamma brainwaves are present during learning, problem solving, and intense focus through observing thoughts, doing analyzation, critical thinking, and deriving answers through logical consideration. Gamma brainwaves are present whenever you are highly focused and in a heightened perceptive mode. When we are in this state, we are usually happier, more receptive, and guess what? More intelligent too. Look at all the geniuses of the world. The majority of them are polymath. Polymaths are people who acquire a wide range of knowledge and expertise across many different fields. They are known for their ability to apply complex knowledge to solve problems because of their objectivity and ability to perceive in a way that mainstreams are unable to. Their uncanny ability to learn from different disciplines and be able to solve and see solutions is exactly the way their brain functions. Their utilization of the brain in full spectrum and all regions allows them to activate their gamma waves and in turn propel them to learn things fast, see matters from higher perspectives, find solutions in split seconds, and even attract abundance to themselves through their giving altruistic personality. As the saying goes, what goes around comes around. So there you give, here you will receive, essentially activating the law of attraction. None of the geniuses were born with these qualities. They were the way they were through their relentless pursuit of knowledge, learning different concepts, and hence observing matters from a more complete view through objective thinking. And most of all, they were all curious. Their curiosity led them to seek further and gather more perspectives, through which drove them to their success. Studies have been done and also shown that when one has compassion, they produce more gamma waves. Universal love, altruism, and higher virtues are associated with gamma waves. Expanded consciousness and spiritual understanding happens during gamma brainwave states too. How can you train yourself and start to activate all parts of your brain? It is easily attainable and relatively achievable, provided effort and your will be put into the practice. And that's just reading. Pick up the habit of reading, but not just any topic, which are unfruitful for your spirit. It is not wise to read horrific novels or absorb into your brain stuff that are imagined and non-productive. Pick up topics which you are curious about that will edify and enrich you. Reading doesn't mean glancing at words or seeing the words like symbols. I mean, digesting the meaning behind the context. What is the point of reading a chapter or probably the whole book, and when I ask you what the book or chapter is about, and you answer me, I don't know, what is the point? You might as well not waste time and sleep or listen to the music, right? The way that you do proper reading is to understand what you are reading. Pause every now and then to close your eyes, and to try to understand the concept of what you are reading. For what? Is to activate your gamma brainwaves activity. Additionally, you can start to practice taking mini breaks to look at nature. It can be gazing at the sky, watching the cloud formations, looking at birds flying by, or the beauty of trees, rivers, or the ocean. The key is to observe by focusing your awareness on what you are watching. This allows you to have a keen observation and train your mind to be in charge of what goes into your mind by focused awareness of knowing what you are seeing. For the most part, many are totally not in control of their own thoughts. Fleeting thoughts come and go, where they control and dominate your mind, instead of you being the one in charge of your thoughts. Are you the one thinking the thoughts, or the thoughts thinking you? Think about this, and you will realize how passive you are in the situation. Henceforth, now that you know all this, do you want to continue to reject what information you receive, like how you would process in your own way of subjective thinking? Or do you want to liberate yourself from your own prison that you put yourself into for so many years and start to embrace new information, knowledge, perspectives, and start to practice objective thinking through acceptance and reading on a regular basis? Don't you want to be more intelligent or be a more compassionate person and draw abundance, opportunities, and be a happy person? The choice is yours. It's what you do with the knowledge that you know and how you act upon them. Magic doesn't happen waiting for someone else to do it for you. It starts with you. It's all about you and for you.